We'll continue the portion. We'll work out one more question where we have to do purchases return and sales return book. That is practical problem number 13. That is a combined question given. Just go through the question. 11.38, page number 11.38 and practical problem number 13. 1-3. Prepare returns inward and returns outward books of Manoj Mumbai, and they have asked you to post them in ledger. We know that these books are the subsidiary books of journal. So when you do purchases book, we know that credit purchases are being recorded. So no need to write the transactions in journal because these are a substitute for journal, or these are the subsidiary book of journal. Again, no journal entry need to be written. You don't have to write like purchases account debtor to that particular company's name. You don't have to write such a journal entry if you are preparing purchases book. Similarly, sales journal entries you need not write when you record or when you prepare sales book. Understood? And certain transactions like discount allowed, discount received, which we cannot record in any of the books, will be prepared, will be transferred only in journal, or will be recorded in journal actually. So only those transactions you need to write in journal when you are preparing other subsidiary books. No need to write entries when you prepare subsidiary books. But you have to prepare ledger accounts because these are subsidiary books of journal, not ledger. So journal, after journal, you know that you have to prepare ledger accounts. They have asked you to post into ledger accounts also. But for this question, you just from this chapter, you just learn to prepare the books, purchases, sales, purchases return, sales return. That's enough. Ledger account preparation already we have discussed. That is enough. Okay, so we'll do returns inward and returns outward book from the same question. Just go through the question. The transaction first, March 1st, Mathur Brothers returned. That means they are returning to us. So that will come under which book? Is it purchase return or sales return? They are returning to us means it is returns inward, or you have to use that term because they have asked you to prepare returns inward and returns outward. So here this is returns inward or sales return. The next one, return to Kanpur. That means we are returning, it is purchases return or returns outward. So from that question you have to pick up items that fall under returns inward book and returns outward book. Then the third one, on March 12th, Baluja Shoes Company returned 12 pieces. That means they have returned to us, it is sales return or returns inward. Then March 20th we have returned to Bala Stores Mumbai. So that is returns outward or purchases return. So all transactions are mixed. You have to choose from that. First we will prepare returns inward book or sales return book. Returns inward or sales return book. This is practical problem number 13. And instead of invoice number, we have to write credit note number since it is sales return. So these are the column headings. Now the first transaction which will come under returns inward, that you have to choose very carefully, returns inward. So Mathur Brothers New Delhi returned. That means it is coming into the business now, it is returns inward book. 5 pairs of shoes at the rate of 2000 per pair. First you write the customer's name, Mathur Brothers Delhi, and the date is 2020 March 1st. The item is 5. You don't have to write the reasons like being defective and all. Just write the item, 5 pairs of shoes at the rate of rupees 2000 per pair. So 2000 into 5, that is 10,000, the details column. Then there is a trade discount of 10%, so you write less trade discount the rate of 10%. It is 1000. Outer column you can write 9000. Then the next item, return to, that means we are returning to the seller. It is purchase is return or returns outward. Then third one, Baluja Shoes Company Mumbai returned. They returned means it is coming into the business. So that is returns inward. The items you have to choose very carefully. If you write the second item under sales return or returns inward, it will go wrong. So though it is easy, pick up the items very carefully. Baluja Shoes Company, March 12th. Here you just draw a line. The place is Mumbai. The item is 12 pairs of chappal. At the rate of 4,000 per pair. Okay. So it is 4,000 into 12, 48,000. See whether you have any discount there. Yes, there is also a discount of 10%. So less trade discount, 10%, 4,800. Balance you can write in the outer column, that is 43,200. Okay, so the returns inward book is over. We have only 2 transactions. So here you write returns inward account. This will be having a debit balance. Returns inward means sales return, that is having a debit balance. The date will be March 31st and the total amount you have to write, that means add your amount column. This amount column you must add only 2 transactions, so that will be 68,000. How many transactions are there? We have only 2 transactions, no? 43,200, that is 1 transaction. 1 minute. We have only 2 transactions, so that will be 52,200. The total is 52,200. The returns inward total. Okay. 43 plus 9, so that is 52,200. You can close the book after writing the total. Okay, so this is how we did returns inward or sales return book. Next, for the same question, we have to do returns outward book or purchases return book. So we will do next returns outward book. You give the heading returns outward book. You must know that this is the other name for purchases return. Date column we need, then particulars, then instead of debit note number, sorry, instead of credit note number, previously we wrote credit note number. Since this is purchases return, you must write debit note number, then LF column, details, and then amount. (2020), the first transaction happened on March 5th. Don't write March 1st because that we already recorded in sales return book. This is purchasing and now we are returning it back to the seller. So March 5th return to Kanpur Leather Private Limited. So we are purchasing and then returning. What's the name? Kanpur Leather Private Limited. The item is 100 pairs of chappal at the rate of rupees 300 per pair. So 300 into 100, it is 30,000. Then we have a discount of 15%. So less trade discount at the rate of 15%. Compute 15% of 30,000, that is 4,500. Nothing to be added, isn't it? So the balance 25,500 you can write in the amount column. Then the next transaction, March 12th, we already recorded in sales return or returns inward book. After that, we have returned to Bata Shoes Private Limited, Mumbai. So write March 20th, Bata Shoes Private Limited, Mumbai. 100 pairs. Bata Shoes Company, canvas shoes, isn't it? 100 pairs of canvas shoes. At the rate of 500 per pair. So 500 into 100, 50,000. Then is there anything to be deducted? Yes, less trade discount 15%. Less trade discount at the rate of 15%. So 7,500. Nothing to be added with this. So you can write the figure in the outer column now. 42,500. Only 2 transactions. Other 2 transactions we already recorded. So here we have in the amount column, just add your amount column. One is 42,500. Previous figure is 25,500. So altogether we have 68,000. Yes. The total of amount column will now be 68,000. Returns outward, that is purchases return account, and returns outward account will be having a credit balance. We know that this is the other name for purchases return. Purchases having a debit balance, so this one will be having a credit balance. Previously, did we write for sales return? Yeah, debit. This is credit. Now the date is, which month is this? March. So March 31st, and now you can close. Yes. So this is how you have to prepare returns inward and returns outward book for the same question. Similarly, you have a practical problem, that is question number 18, where they have written like purchases and sales, that is purchased goods and sold goods, purchase transactions, and similarly you have items sold For the same question, they have asked you to prepare purchases book and sales book. Then ledger also you have, they have asked you to prepare. Ledger you need not do. So for practical problem number 18, I will give that as assignment. You do that particular question. For the same question, you do purchases and sales book. There it is easy. They have written like purchased from this person, sold to this person, purchased and sold, the specific words they have given. So it's easy for you to pick up the items for the transactions. Whereas in this book, that is returns inward and returns outward, this question you might get confused. They have written like Mathur Brothers returned, then you returned to Kanpur. So that you have to do very carefully. This one is easy. So for that 18th question, you prepare purchases book and sales book, both books you must do. That you do as assignment. Okay. So with this, we are winding up the chapter. Chapter is over. You just have to study all these subsidiary books, and the preparation is very much similar and very easy also, but do it carefully.